What's up, Warrior? Welcome back to Daily Wisdom. We are wrapping up a 5-part series talking all about the importance of events for your business and personal growth. Today, we're going to be talking about the cost of not attending events. If you missed any of the previous ones, go back to my YouTube, subscribe to that as well too, and would love to chat about this in particular. When you start to understand the cost of not doing something, it transforms everything for you. It's unfortunate, but it's pretty true that most of us change not when we see the light. Most of us change when we feel the heat. Throw one in the comments if you are more motivated by pain, right? Or avoidance thereof. I'm definitely like that, right? When I wish it could be that when my wife asks me the first time nicely that I'll do something. But typically, to be honest, it's usually at the end when she has to nag a little bit and remind me. So why does it have to be that way? It doesn't have to be. But that's kind of how human nature is. The reality is most of us are like a dog sitting on a nail. And if you know that adage, there was a day one time when somebody noticed their neighbor had a dog that was groaning and moaning. And this neighbor asked the dog owner, why are they moaning and groaning? And the dog owner said, well, the dog's sitting on a nail. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Why doesn't the dog just get up? Was the question. And the dog owner said, it doesn't hurt enough. Oof. How many things in our life, in our business, in our growth, how many things just don't hurt enough for us to make a change? So when it comes to attending events, when you understand the cost of not going, it changes everything. We have an event, for example, personal one that's coming up this week in a couple of days. We're running an event called the Warrior Movement Experience. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to transform people in their body, mind, spirit, their business. We're going to have parties, photo shoots. People are going to walk out just different, right? But it takes time. You got to readjust your schedule. You got to readjust your energy. You got to readjust. It takes money, right? You got to travel. There's a ticket cost, all these types of things. And so many times you look at events like those, we're like, well, it costs too much. But let's flip the question, which is, what is the cost of not going to? This is why now, this understanding I'm about to give to you is why I always make it an effort to go to any event that I need to go, a Zoom event, an in-person event, whatever that it is. Because if you want to change your life, you want to change your results, you have to change what's called our paradigm. Our paradigm is a set of subconsciously held beliefs about any area. And if you want to change your results, have you noticed in your business, in your life, we typically hover around the same type of place. Maybe it's in your business, you notice, I kind of waver between $500 to $1,000 a month, whatever it is for you. Part-time business, full-time business, there's a number, isn't there? There's a certain result. And isn't it annoying that no matter what it is that you do that's different, you can try a new tactic? Maybe you learned a little social media thing or you learned a skill and you're like, you apply it. And even though you're doing a different action, it still has the same result when you even it out. Aren't you sick and tired of that habit? Aren't we sick and tired of those types of routines to happen? So how do we break free from this? Well, we have to understand that our mind works like this. We have a conscious, we have a subconscious, we have a body, and we have a spirit, okay? So our results are directly tied to what it is that we believe subconsciously, which is what we call these paradigms. So if you want to change your results, you have to flip this. Okay, you can't just do it consciously, you have to flip this. So how do you transform your subconscious? 2 ways. Number one, constant spaced repetition. You do something over and over and over again. You think a new thought, you think a new goal, and eventually you start to rewire yourself. They say that brain neurons that wire together fire together. So literally you can reconnect your neural connections. You can literally regrow brain cells. Did you know that? And the brain, when it connects, it's like an electrical system. And your mind works in a fascinating way, okay? So to change this, number one is constant spaced repetition. So you can keep on thinking different goals. You can keep on doing different things. You can keep on going through repetition. However, there's a faster way. And a faster way to reprogram your subconscious is through an emotional impact. Our subconscious mind thinks in terms of emotion, energy. And unfortunately, many times, that's why if you've been through some type of trauma in your life, emotional trauma, you had a big failure, you had something happen in your childhood, whatever that it is, it typically is that it's these negative things that lodge negative things in our lives. But it also flips on a positive standpoint. So if we understand this, put a 1 in the comments if this makes sense so far. Our goal is to transform your results right now. Okay? Why are events so powerful? Because what events do is they elevate energy. When you bring multiple people together, it's very obvious. If you've ever been to a sporting game, if you've ever been to a football game, if you've ever been to anywhere, a church service, right? It's very evident that when you bring a group of people together, energy gets elevated. Emotion gets elevated. So when you put yourself into an event where there's other people, this could be just 2 other people, right? Or 200 or 2,000. When you put yourself into these types of environments with elevated energy, what starts to happen is that you will then start to be able to make a stronger emotional impact on your mind. Where the same thing, it's not the training itself necessarily, the words that are spoken at those events, it's not the skills. You can go to a YouTube video, you can get the same thing, but it's the energy that is in the room that is different. And what happens is when you get the right words with the right energy, all of a sudden, if you allow it to, your mind is impacted in a positively emotional way, and you're able to shift your paradigm a lot faster. My mentors taught me that leaders are created and inspired at events. Why? It's because our subconscious can only talk in terms of emotions. And when you're at an event, you elevate that emotion and that energy. And you're able to then say, boom, you can make decisions a lot more quickly. If you want to change your results, you have to change your paradigm. If you want to change your results, you have to change your mind. If you want to change your results, you need to change and you need to make certain decisions. One decision can change your life for forever. So if you understand that that is the value of an event, you do whatever it takes to get to those environments, because that is what can change everything for you. I know a story. You know my story. We grew our first business. It was very successful. Lived the life of our dreams and hit our goals and all that type of cool stuff. Disaster hit us. We lost it all. Our business went, and we lost 90% of our business within 1 year. Went from hero to zero, from dream to desperation, from depression to all types of stuff. And it was so hard to pick ourselves back up. We almost gave up on the dream. And what happened was we decided to go to an event. And I remember going to this event. It was one of those like, man, if this doesn't work, then we might need to do something else type of things. And we went to this event. And even though I was skeptical, even though I was negative, even though I had all types of traumas, at the last day of this multiple day event, something clicked. I saw the vision again. I got inspired again. I dreamed dreams that I never had imagined before. I started seeing ourselves being in a different place that we never even envisioned before. And you know that spark that happens when you get inspired? Inspired means in spirit. You're literally aligning yourself with your spiritual nature of yourself. We made a decision. We said, we're going to do this huge. We're going to create the biggest organization. We're going to create something that transforms culture. We're going to create something different. And that broke me out of that state of desperation. It was just like, boom, let's go. That one event, that one decision has transformed not just our own life, and we recreated our business in a fraction of our time. We went from offline to completely online. We created what's called the Warrior Movement. We now have one of the fastest growing teams that are in the organization. And that's transformed and impacted and touched the lives of so many people. But why? If we never went to that event, then that decision would never have been made. That paradigm would never have shifted. What was the cost if we didn't go to that event? It wasn't just our own lives. You know what I envisioned? All the lives of the peoples whose lives were impacted by the dream and the decision that we made. So, warrior, think about you. What is the cost of you not going to that next event? Maybe you're okay with yourself fulfilling your dream, but what about the cost of the impact that you can have on the friends around you, the family around you, your kids, your grandkids, your cousins, your siblings, your parents, the inspiration you're going to do, the impact of the lives of people that you were meant to serve, the stories of transformation that should have happened, but it wasn't. That, to use this word, we aborted early because we never went to the birthplace of the dream, the birthplace of the paradigm shift, which was attending that event. Could we live life knowing that we could have had more and done more and been more? And we never did. And because I understand that cost of events now, that cost of not attending them, I now do whatever it takes and also encourage others to do whatever it takes to go to the event, whatever that is for you. Because those shifts, you never know when they're going to happen. But I do know they have a higher likelihood of happening at events because it elevates energy and emotion, which is how the subconscious thinks, which can have a higher odds of reprogramming your paradigm. So, warrior, I hope this encouraged you. If you missed any of the parts about events and what they do for your personal and professional growth, check out my YouTube for the replay plus more as well too. About more information also about this event that we're doing, April 28th to 30th, we are doing an event called the Warrior Movement Experience down here in San Diego. It's going to be a 3-day immersive event to transform body, mind, spirit, and business. Limited availability. It is for the Warrior Movement team. But if you're interested in more information on that, feel free to shoot a message to me, and I'd love to share with you more information about that. Other than that, have a blessed rest of your day.